Wondering if I'd get there quicker if I was a man. The verse that I just sang is part of the song called The Man by Taylor Swift. The Man is a mind-wise tune in which Taylor Swift is using the issue of gender inequality in our society. Wow, a top musician like Taylor Swift talks about gender inequality. Is gender inequality an evidently suffocating issue that Taylor decided to bring the issue up in a song? Here, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I will explain to you why gender inequality must be stopped. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adhea Rezqy, and I'm a student from Modjiyanti. When we talk about gender inequality, I strongly agree that gender inequality is tightly bound with the word double standards. On the subject of double standards and gender inequality, Taylor points out the hypocrisy of double standards, where to a degree, it is considered okay when a man lives a certain lifestyle. However, if only a woman were to live likewise, her actions would not be considered okay at all. Okay, I mentioned double standards in quite a number, but are any of you familiar with the true meaning of double standards? Can you recognize an act of double standards? Or do you know what gender equality or inequality means? Gender equality is when people of all genders, no matter men or women, have equal rights, opportunities, and responsibilities. Meanwhile, gender inequality is the complete opposite of it. As for double standards, just like Taylor's portrayal of it, it is a situation where a rule or a principle is unfairly applied to different people or groups for situations that are, in principle, the same. A treatment whereby one group is given more latitude than another. To put an example, me as a woman, and of course some of you there, must have once been told that women belong in the kitchen. Why aren't you aiming for a higher education? You're gonna end up being in the kitchen anyway, watching over the kids. A truly ridiculous mindset, I'd say. Discriminatory in education produce gender gaps in learning and skills development. As a result, UNICEF stated that nearly 1 in 4 girls in between the ages of 15 and 19 are neither employed nor in education or training compared to 1 in 10 boys. If men can have a high education, then why can't women? Another example to display. Women are paid less than how men are paid. Why? It's clearly unfair. They work as hard as men do. It is unfortunate how women are judged more often than men for their behaviors and clothing choices rather than their brilliant ideas and power moves. See, those are the examples of double standards. A man can get a high education and it's considered normal. Meanwhile, women, it's just a waste of money and time. A man can get a high paycheck, but a woman cannot. A situation where one is normalized, meanwhile another one is not. Although I have mentioned gender inequality and double standards in women, it doesn't mean that the issue of gender inequality doesn't apply to men as well. It is true and undeniable that a lot of people view gender inequality as a more iconic issue with women. As women have been a driving force behind gender equality struggles, gender equality policies have been contextualized mainly as a women's issue. This view played a part in the perception that women are the only ones who will benefit from a more equal society. While in reality, men, as much as women do, will definitely benefit from a more equal society as they also face gender-specific issues. For instance, men can't cry because crying is just not for men. Or when men can show physical affection, such as hugging like women do, because it will always be seen in a romantic way. Or even worse, when men get sexually abused, they will be considered lucky for it. Gender inequality and double standards are evident issues that are suffocating us for up to years now. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to live in a world like this forever? Do you want to live in a world where you can't be what you wanted to be? A world where you can't be yourself? We have to practice gender equality for the betterment of our world. It's 2022 already, come on! If the older generation's mindset is messed up with gender inequality, then us, as the younger generation who will then lead the world, can and must make a change. We can start by ourselves. Reject double standards. Lisa Elliott, a neuroscience professor at the Chicago Medical School, once said, "The brain and behavioral sciences have learned a lot about our unconscious biases. We all have, based on race, gender, and religion. But the important thing is that we have to be aware of our sexist assumptions and challenge them. When you have and know that you have sexist assumptions, you have to know it and you have to challenge it. When someone points out something problematic in your speech or behavior, listen and reflect on yourself. And the same goes for other people. If you encounter by any double standards behavior or words, reject it and try to tell them that it is wrong. If you have kids in the future, share the household chores equally and educate them about gender equality. Or if you have a company, recruit your workers of equal gender and pay them the same wage whether they are men or women. It is essential and critical that both women and men are aware of the benefits that gender equality will bring to them as individuals and as a member of society. Gender equality will build up a nation's ability to develop and reduce poverty effectively. We can only succeed in eradicating gender inequality and double standards through the participation of both women and men. Let's beautify our world by abolishing gender inequality and double standards. We have to fight gender inequality together. The world needs men. The world also needs women. We are all in this together. We are all equal. My name is Adhea Rezqy. Thank you very much for your warm attention.